Okay.
I see you guys. I see you out here Wednesday morning, October 23rd. My name's AJ Wrights Crypto. Thanks for joining me. Good to be here. I got one hell of a show planned today. I got up way earlier than I normally do today. I have already put the work in of like 2 days, and it's 10:30 in the morning. I'm telling you guys, change your habits, rewire your brain. Wake up way earlier than everyone else. It works big time, because then you're getting so much more done. By the time everyone else wakes up, you already have the drop. You already have the edge. I'm telling you, it's a secret of the trade. Secret. All right. Big shout out to everybody that's here. Shout out to the chat: Gregory Ward, Overnight Express, Mike Vollmer, Adventure Bound, SWFL, Avery, Mike Lowry, Farky Fark, Ogre, Karen Harris, Mike Vollmer, AJ Wrights Crypto. Oh, that's me. I said let's go because I'm excited to get into today's show. Guys, make sure you smash like early in the show. Get us going in the algorithm so more people can see us. I really would appreciate it. Man, so I went into the YouTube studio today before to get the chat popped up on my laptop here. And I saw this bad boy. 1 million views. That is pretty cool. Pretty cool to hit that landmark. I mean, I think, in less than 1 year, not bad. 1 year on this channel is officially on Friday. Friday is the 1 year anniversary. Ironically, won't be streaming that day. I will be flying to Maryland. I got 2 back-to-back weekends in Maryland. One for, some personal stuff. And the second weekend, my good friend Jarrett, aka Lil Hog, is getting married. And wow, I can't believe that jackass is getting married. Hey, time takes time. People change and shape and grow, and it's amazing to see. Good lifelong friend of mine, and of course, I'm not going to miss his wedding for anything. So I'm fine with flying to Maryland 2 weekends in a row. Totally cool with me. But yeah, 1 million views, everybody. Pretty awesome. I that's thanks to you guys, man. That's thanks to each and every one of you. Certainly couldn't be more bullish on this channel and all of you guys, man. Good stuff. Love to see it. We got a $2 super chat from Campbell, like the soup. HBAR still a good buy. $1 bull run possible. I do have a handful of charts already picked out for today's show, but I don't have a problem throwing an HBAR chart there. Do I think a $1 Hedera is still possible for the bull run? Of course I do. I think time takes time. And I did have a really interesting Twitter space yesterday about RWAs. I'll actually here, let me throw this chart over here. I'll actually go out of order, considering that we kind of backwards talked about this. So I'll paint the whole picture. Okay, so let's start here. So Solana, man, it's impossible to ignore the institutional attraction. And Campbell, this is a very long answer to your question. All right, but I'm going to start here to paint the whole picture. So Solana, like I said, institutionally very sexy. I think that it's going to continue to have this kind of attention. I think as it continues to build out and grow, and as more and more projects build on it, more and more people will find it. And it is fast. It does have some issues, but all in all, like with, pausing and stuff like that, that's not the best. But all in all, Solana is putting some serious numbers on the board. And as anyone in crypto, you cannot ignore the numbers on the board. And now there's, how we have MicroStrategy, but now we have Sol Strategies. And they are likely, right here in this article from cryptonews.com, given the favorable backdrop, Sol Strategies is likely to garner significant interest from institutions seeking regulated access to the Solana network. And that makes sense. Similar to MicroStrategy, now there is Sol Strategies. And really, Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy has outperformed the S&P 500 stocks since 2020, but Sol Strategies has blown the Bitcoin stocks return out of the water since March 13th this year. MicroStrategy is up 23.4%, which is very respectable, may I add. 23% in a single year in stock world, that's damn good. But Sol Strategies is up 544% in the same period. Of course, Tony G is a large shareholder here. If you don't know who Tony G is, he looks like this. I've been around for a while. I know all about Tony G, and there's a name you'll see time and time again. And of course, he's involved with this, and it is, of course, there's a MicroStrategies. It makes complete sense that there is a Sol Strategies as well. And given that institutional access, this is just something people do. People in the stock market, traditional TradFi, instead of having direct exposure to Bitcoin, just buying Bitcoin, they buy MicroStrategy instead. So this is a way they can get in on Solana. All right. Not to mention, Solana hits a 7.9 million all-time high in daily real economic activity. This is what I care about. This is more important than price go up and to the right. This means people are using it. People are like, the point here, guys, right? The point of crypto, and I always ask people this question: when's the last time you bought something with crypto? Anything. Right. We're still, although we're crypto natives, although we're on the team. We got the jersey. We're on the team, right? The point is to eventually not use the legacy system and to just use crypto. So when you start seeing metrics like this, that Solana, almost $8 million in daily real economic activity, that is the kind of stuff we want to see. And this is because, they're opening the door. They're opening the door for people to do this. Okay. Not to mention how high the Phantom wallet is up on the list on the App Store. Pretty crazy stuff. All right. So let me kill these stories as I go. But so why did I say all of this stuff? And for the record, what I'm about to tell you is not at all a sponsored thing for this show. I actually think this is really interesting. All right. I did a space yesterday on the Mario Nafal roundtable with a project called Agridex. And they're an RWA marketplace built on Solana, bringing the $2.7 trillion agricultural industry on chain. All right. So, guys, agriculture is a massive industry, accounting for over 10% of global trade. 10% of global trade is agriculture. Of course, this is something like a real world asset that we need to tokenize. And this platform is doing that on Solana. I think this one's probably a winner, to be honest with you. This one does kind of hit close to home to me. I kind of grew up on a farm in Maryland, right? My stepmom, really big in the farming. I have a lot of family members that grew up on farms, so, that is kind of something that hits home with me for sure. And the point so we had this big conversation about RWAs on this space with Mario. All right. And this guy, his name was Lloyd. He brought up a really good point. We were talking about, the Boston Consulting Group projection. If you've listened to this channel at all, you know all about this projection, basically estimating that the RWA sector will be worth, I think it's $16 trillion by 2030, according to a projection by the Boston Consulting Group. And in the notes of that projection, in like the notes of that case study, it basically says that this is a conservative projection. This is a shy projection. But it's very important to remember that we're talking, $16 plus trillion by 2030. And right now that market cap is not even close to there. Basically, Boston Consulting Group, one of the most respected consulting groups in the world, is putting their reputation on the line, basically saying that it's going to be worth this much money because everything is going to get tokenized between now and then. But keep in mind, there are a lot of projects, a lot of blockchains going for the throne. And it really comes well that we have Avalanche, we have Solana, and we have Hedera, Algorand, vChain, Proppy. The list goes on and on and on about all the projects trying to win this arms race to tokenize the most amount of stuff, to tokenize the most amount of things. Because the truth is, there's no standard yet. There's no interoperability. There's no compatibility because this process to tokenize everything has not really started yet. Right? The infrastructure is being set up, but like even like AgriDex, if you're going to tokenize crops, like how do you? There's a lot of work that goes into that in terms of measuring all of the crops and using the oracles to get that on the blockchain, and then accounting for margin of error. Farming is farmers are gamblers. Farmers are gamblers, and the rain and the weather and all this stuff really matters. All right, and sometimes, some years, I remember my grandpa Frank, man, he had some killer years on the farm, and some years were not so hot. We're not so hot. So it does kind of really open up a big conversation in my mind. Wow, how are they going to, empirically define a lot of this stuff on this platform called AgriDex? And we got going in this conversation about RWAs. What I'm getting to here is the guy Lloyd basically posed the question. Well, if the Boston Consulting Group projection for a $16 trillion RWA market is for 2030. Why are we so hyped on RWA projects right now? Is it too early for RWA projects this bull run? And to be honest, I never really thought of it like that. Like, it's very simple when you put it like that. This guy Lloyd kind of knocked it out of the park with that question. And I think he has a point. Because the infrastructure isn't there yet. It's not like, right now there are apps, there are things, there are places where you can tokenize anything. They're everywhere. But has that process really begun? Have we met a standardization for that process? Will there be compatibility across chains to split up that market share? And although I think projects like this on Solana, like AgriDex, basically tokenizing agriculture, which is a $2.7 trillion industry, very important project. I hope they knock it out of the park. I hope they do. But we have a long way to go between point A and point B. So I think that the RWA narrative is obviously something you want to pay attention to. It's not something you want to fade. That's for sure. But also, when it comes to strategic narratives in crypto, that's all. You have to understand the marketing aspect of crypto. It's all about narratives. It's all about hype, attention, ... You know the words, okay? And when something is hot, when there's a hot topic, you will see projects kind of bend over backwards to fit into these sectors. They will do whatever they have to do to be able to say, oh, we are aligned with this hot topic. We, in fact, do this thing. And some projects like vChain, in my opinion, I tried to talk Sonny personally into quoting like vChain, the first RWA project, which is actually factually true, considering the whole supply chain thing, Sonny coming from Louis Vuitton, all of that stuff. Factually, vChain is the first RWA project in crypto. Instead, he's such a nice guy. He decided to go with the king of RWAs, which I feel is appropriate as well. But I think saying first kind of slapped, in my opinion. So Campbell, I'm still answering your question. Can Hedera get to $1? All right, because here's the thing. Let's go over to Hedera.com. Let's look at it. Here's the website right here. Boom. Now available. The first thing in big giant letters, Asset Tokenization Studio. Wow. It's an open source toolkit for configuration, issuance, and management of tokenized securities and equities on the Hedera network, all in less time and with less risk. We're talking, 6 million accounts created, 215,000 transactions the last 24 hours, less than 3 seconds time of finality, less than a penny, saves a lot of, Hedera is checking off all the institutionally attractive dots, aren't they? Super green, Hedera is not even carbon neutral. They're carbon negative, fam. Super cheap, super fast, a lot of transactions, a lot of accounts. And of course, they are leading the push with Asset Tokenization Studio. My question is, how long will it take? if the RWA market cap that's projected to be $16 trillion, 16 trillion with a T, people don't even realize how much money $1 trillion really is. Like, for real. $1 trillion is way more money than people think it is. All right. And like, if it's going to be 16 trillion in 2030, at what point does it become 2 trillion? You see my point? Like, is that going to be 2026, 2027, 28? Like, is it going to be a rush to standardization and then explode? Is it going to be a slow curve? Because the point is that the RWA market cap is not $1 trillion yet. Not even close. All right. And Lloyd did pose a good question. Is this bull run ready for RWA projects? And to answer that question straight up, for this bull run, which is a year from now, based off the Bitcoin halving cycle and every cycle before this one, we are projected to be at the top Q3, Q4 of 2025. That's just based off the halving cycle. That's not my opinion. That's the halving cycle. Okay. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. So it really is, if the whole point of aligning yourself with RWAs based off this projection from the Boston Consulting Group is that if you could get 0.05% of that market share of that $16 trillion, if you get less than 1% of that $16 trillion market share, that's billions and billions and billions of dollars. And for projects like Hedera and vChain and Algorand that are 1 to 2 billion in market cap, that would make a very large difference. But are they able to bring these assets on chain in 1 year? That's the question. I still think, based off basic TA principles, based off of just investor awareness, how attractive these projects are to venture capitalists, to just the normal trickle down effect of altcoins. Basically, Bitcoin people take their profits, put them into alt, top off, everything dumps. I think that all of these projects will still do well. They will still do well. But I think possibly for this bull run, we should consider the fact that the RWA narrative, the RWA projection that has yet to really take its course, is a next bull run topic. I think that is worth keeping in mind. All right. And I'm not telling Desert Crypto to sell all his Ondo. Not saying that. But I am saying that it is very clear to me that the projects prioritizing RWAs, it's the long game. It's the long game. All right. And to be fair, with vChain specifically, them really leaning into vBetterDAO and sustainability, I think they're really giving themselves a fighting chance by going after multiple sectors, rather than just leaning on this one thing that they really have been doing it for a long time. So it's a race, to be honest. It's a race. Yeah. So I did. So to answer your question with Hedera, I mean, can Hedera go to $1 this run? I mean, man, I hope so. I do. Like, I mean, kind of even pulling this HBAR chart here. I mean, HBAR had itself a year. It really did. I mean, it is kind of strange that, like, I remember, like, kind of this time last year, really. You know, where were we this time last year? This time last year, October 23rd, we were right here. We're basically right here. Right there. We're actually right there. We're basically the same price as where we were last year. All right. And this pump we had this year had everything to do with the ETFs and the Fed, and, you know, because the Fed was supposed to pivot way earlier in the year, and it didn't, remember? And this pump right here was the BlackRock thing. So Hedera kind of has a different projection than other projects because of that one piece of news that kind of got botched. All right. And to be fair, as mentioned before, this level right here around 6.7, almost 7 cents, which ends up being massive support resistance several times in the chart. This is kind of like basically Algorand 16 cents. When Hedera breaks this level, Hedera runs. And when Hedera comes back and retests this level, Hedera runs. All right. So think of 0.67, the same as 16 cents with Algorand. All right. Hedera pumps 48% in 28 days. Not bad. Comes back home. Then it comes up for the run itself. 100% in 94 days. Not bad. Guess what? Comes home to the same level. And then come BlackRock pump all the way up to 166% in a couple days. Really, that would be from here to here. 11 days, 166%, comes back home, loses support resistance, but is holding the floor. There's this floor here. All right. This wick all the way down here, which it hasn't even, it's still respecting the top level. Okay. And then there's this all the way down here. All right. And this level that is so important for Hedera to get above is the 786 Fibonacci level. All right. Hedera, technically speaking, is a very, quote, weak project when it comes to Fibonacci, which is actually why it's a great project to target. I actually do want to leave this level here. And this level, we cannot lose. It's at 4.5 cents. Hedera does not want to lose 4.5 cents. All right. And so this is where we're at. I think asking for $1, I mean, I don't think it's impossible considering Hedera's market cap like isn't that crazy. But that's asking for a lot, man. That is asking for a lot, like a lot. I mean, we'd be talking, we're talking from where we are right now, like 5 cents to $1. Yeah, it's a 3,000% pump. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more homework on the dominance and stuff like that. But even like Gonfan stuff, probably not. Completely honest. If you trend line, I'll go from this swing low here. Oh, wrong one. 1 second. Trend angle. Go from this swing low right there. 45 degrees. Bang, bang, bang. Gonfan. Pop, 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 pop. All right. So this actually makes a lot of sense. It has fallen down out of the Gonfan. We might need to draw another one, especially if it hits that same swing low level, but it hasn't. It actually is still above this blue line where this swing low is actually down here. So it does make sense to leave this Gonfan on for now, although it went below the level, which isn't the end of the world because it's just angles. All Gonfan is angles. And, this horizontal level like really could be considered a part of the fan when you just kind of draw straight across, you know what I mean? In a straight line, not a curved line I badly drew with a brush. But even then, I mean, you really got to consider, okay, so let me get rid of this thing. If Hedera, comes, because it did 2 separate times test the top of the 1-1. So we can kind of use that as a measuring stick. And October 25 is here. December 25 is here. So, that 36 to 40 cent range in best case scenario. Then like the 20 to 23 cent range right in here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hedera fall somewhere in here. I do have to check my notes on my previous Hedera price prediction. I did make that video a long time ago. I forget the exact numbers I said sometimes. But to be fair, it has a long way to go. It's at 5 cents. So I did completely go down that rabbit hole, but hey, I do that sometimes. I saw a super chat. Reef Keepers, $10 super chat. Appreciate the $10, man. I appreciate you. I've been scalping all night and I managed to be in a 75x long on 250 Solana at 165. Your thoughts on marching into 185? I'd really like to not have to let this go till then, All right. Well, first of all, Reef Keepers, what are you doing in a 75x trade? What are you doing? I don't care if you're the world's best trader. I still think that's completely reckless. It's not a smart thing to do. If you stick your neck out like that, you can't cry when your head gets cut off. All right. There's no situation, unless you're just having fun with some shit, kind of playing around. There's no scenario where you should be in 75x trades all the time. It's just a bad idea. Terrible idea. In terms of the Solana chart, I can look at it, but I can't give you like clear financial advice. That's illegal. But I can tell you my opinion. All right. I know I have a Solana chart. Maybe I don't. I have all these charts and not a Solana. I have a lot of stories I want to get to. I kind of got distracted in the beginning of the show, but I do that. I'll ramble. I like to ramble, everybody. Solana, but guys, like really, even like with, and here's the thing, like when you're talking about, I will go back to Solana here in a minute, but when you're talking about Hedera, it's a very simple Solana chart. I like that. When you're talking about Hedera, Campbell, I don't want you to think about Hedera getting to $1, like the even number $1. Like that's kind of like a fallacy in trading. That's like a mental thing that you like hold on to that gets you in trouble. Like last bull run, everyone's saying Bitcoin 100K, it's going to 100K, it's going. It didn't, and everyone got wrecked because they didn't realize the profits they made when they were in the 60s and said, "Oh, it's going to 100," and they just wrote it to the bottom because instead of thinking logically about the money you just made, you're stuck on this number that's in your head. So I wouldn't look at it like that. And guys, if Hedera goes to, 53 cents, that's a 10x. Like, when's enough? Like when do you draw the line? Because like getting a 10x is not like a normal thing. That's like traditionally that's unheard of. So really the people that are like the most greedy, that like don't know when to say when's enough is enough, and like, okay, I draw the line here. Those are the people that ride it to the top, ride it back down to the bottom, and blame everyone but themselves. Don't be like that. Don't be that guy. Don't get stuck on an even number. Think of a realistic goal. For me, it's like 4 or 5x. 4 or 5x. I'm out of everything. And even that is asking a lot when you really think about it. All right. To answer your question with Solana, daily chart. So this is I remember doing this chart on the show when we kind of talked about like this box of chop here multiple times on Solana, how Solana kind of comes home to here, and holding with this 126 level is really important for it to stay in this value area. And that if we lose 126, it is likely that we will come back down to 76 if that happens. All right. And to be fair, Solana has, although it has wicked below this level, let's be honest, it never really like closed below the level on a daily time frame. It never really existed down here. You will see this a lot when things wick below, but that doesn't mean like it's the end of the world. It ultimately held this level. All right. And so now Solana on the daily chart did not mean to draw that line. Why does that happen? All right. So let's really kind of investigate here. So I would say like the kind of middle of this range. So if we want to, so here's this level from, 126 to the top of, which is 2024. No, excuse me. That's not the 2024 high. This is big support resistance from 21 that we actually didn't make it towards. Why do I keep drawing random lines? I swear like my mouse like freaks out sometimes. It's really annoying. But I would say to look at it kind of more like this. I'm going to just go ahead and ignore that line and draw this line here, 2024 high. Or if you wanted to draw this downtrend, which actually makes a lot more sense to look at it kind of like a descending triangle. That makes a lot of sense to me. All right. And if you wanted to kind of cut this range in half, I would draw that line right here. Because this is big, giant support resistance. Massive support resistance from here and here, rejections here. So the fact we got above 161.3 is really bullish for Solana. So now we can actually consider testing this downtrend. and the break of that downtrend, then we can kind of have the talk about getting back to the 2024 high. All right. And, that would kind of roughly be a 15% rip up, roughly. All right. Rough measurement. But if we go to like a 2 hour, you'll see that once Solana got above this level, 161, it kind of went up and immediately came back and tested that same exact level. So this level is sort of like the parachute for long. Certainly, I would consider this a short level for Solana in the event that it lost it. And also, you want to go ahead and alarm that local high at 171. To be fair, the 2 hour isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It didn't really come down heavy in the money flow like this, but it could work its way up. But you said your trade, you're trying to get to 180. I really can't give you a clear answer on that this second. And why is that? I'm saying that because Solana has been inside of a 5% range, a 5.9% range for 2 hours, 2 days and 18 hours. So Solana has basically almost spent 3 days inside of a 6% range. That's not like good, favorable trading conditions for Solana. Yeah, I wouldn't have got in a Solana trade right here. No way. Let alone a 75x. So maybe pick your shots a little bit better. I would say, to be honest with you, if we're like really kind of looking at how this range has developed, it started with like a wide and then like it kind of scrunched up, because we're talking about like this 6% range, right? Well, from this here, it actually spent really most of the past 2 days inside of a 4% range. So really the 6% range is kind of not even fair to say, because once it ranged out this right here, it scrunched up. So really you could conditionally range Solana from here, which was rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times that level at 169.3. And then you could conditionally range this previous low right here at 164.1. All right. That's really what we're looking at now, because the range that was 6% here, the range that was 6% right here scrunched up to here. So the range is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The doors are kind of closing in. And this is what? Yeah, 3% range. Exactly. So the range is getting tighter and tighter as it goes, making it harder and harder to trade. All right. So I would say these alarms are really what you're looking for. The bottom one's 164.3. The top one is 167.2. And the one above that's 171.4. I don't really have an opinion on if this thing is going to break one way or another. The way things are looking macro right now, I would say it's probably going to break down. But I don't guess, I react. And that's basically what we're looking at for Solana right now. I don't. Yeah, 75x trade. That ain't it, bro. I do have so much to get into traditionally for this show. I have a lot of stories I want to show you guys. I do have a couple housekeeping things I want to tell you about first. Desert Crypto, let's smash the likes. He's been a member for 5 months. Hey man, I really appreciate that. Also guys, make sure you become a member of the channel if you haven't. I'm doing the members only live stream tomorrow. It might happen instead of the normal live stream because I have a packed schedule today and tomorrow. But I will let you know as time goes on. Obviously, you certainly want to become a member, especially if you're in the Telegram group, because it's a direct reference to what we're learning about in the group, the positions we put in there, the topics we talk about. Certainly become a member if you haven't already. Check in. Ellie, have you looked into Moonwell? Yeah, I've heard of it. I've had a couple of my people tell me about it. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole, but it is on my radar. Ryan Randall, if you had 10K and could only pick 5 coins for the bull run, what would you do? Looking for a 5 to 10x. All right, Ryan, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a 5x or are you looking for a 10? Because if you're looking for a 5x, you're looking for a 5x. If you're looking for and Ryan, that shows me right there that you don't know what you want. You don't know what you want. When you are setting your goals, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be very specific. Well, I just want it to go up, you know. I just want some good picks. But like, what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? If you say 5 to 10x, dude, that's a couple, you know, that's a $20 billion difference in total 3, probably more. You know what I mean? Like, that's way more than 20 billion, actually. It'd probably be like a couple hundred billion. And then if I'm actually comparing that to total 3, that was kind of dumb to even do that on my part. But you got to be really specific, bro. I'm not trying to beat you up, bust your balls. I'm just telling you, I really want you to be way more dialed in with your goal setting, because there's a big gap between a 5 and a 10. And if you say, oh, I'll do 5x, and then you get to 5x and you say, well, I wanted to go to 10, and you don't take your 5 and it only 5s, you're beat. So I will hammer you guys time and time again about set your goals, keep yourself accountable to those goals, and don't fall in love. I said that in one of my first videos on YouTube ever. And honestly, I can't think of a better 3-step guide to crypto. Set your goals, hold yourself accountable, don't fall in love. I don't know a single 3-step better than that. I tried to write another one. I can't. I can't outdo myself. That song's basically the real Slim Shady of my discography. All right. And Ryan, I have that video. I've made that video, and he says 7x in the chat a lot of times. I get it, bro. 7x. But it's just my gambling funds. Okay, Reef, that makes me feel better that you're gambling. Okay, that does make me feel better, and that's okay. At least you're willing to admit that. But yeah, I think that's, you know, that's a video I've made a lot of times, man. That's a video I've made a lot of times. I don't feel the need to basically give my top 5 out right now. It's actually, I have been toying with the idea of doing a very, very large public portfolio. Jada and I will resume updates when we do them, and I can even do it separately, but I do want to build a new portfolio for the channel. And now that PHEMEX actually, you could spot buy vChain, Hedera, Algorand on PHEMEX. Wasn't able to do that before. I can actually do it on PHEMEX, because the portfolios I built on this channel are very real portfolios, but that crypto is in with my other crypto, because I didn't want to make like 1,000 other accounts. And it's like, well, I have a lot more actually than is on the board for those portfolios. So I'll still keep track of them for the sake of keeping track of them for you guys. But I have been saying for a couple weeks now that I'm going to build $100,000 portfolio live on this channel, probably all at once. And then I said, oh, I should probably do 250,000. And then I'm like, oh, I should probably do 500,000. And I might go more than 500,000. I might go 750 million, maybe, depending on where things end up. And here's the truth. I have been on the verge of making that video for 3 weeks. And every time I spend hours with the charts, I talk myself out of doing it. Why is that? Because every time I talk myself out of it, I was right. Unless I only bought Bitcoin and SWI, I would be down in those bags. And I'm taking my time with it. I still feel like if you are completely tethered up right now, you're not playing it bad. There is a lot of bleeding going on. And the problem is that Bitcoin is running the show. The truth is, from 22 to now, the best buy was Bitcoin or Solana or SWI. But really, like, we should have just been buying Bitcoin in the whole bear market. And Bitcoin does that because Bitcoin runs the show. Like, everything else kind of stayed where it is. Bitcoin is the only thing that has really moved. But the problem is that when Bitcoin goes from 60,000 to 67,000 and the alts barely move up, But then Bitcoin goes from, 67,000 to 65, alts go down with Bitcoin. So it's like Bitcoin moves up, alts stay the same, Bitcoin comes down, alts fall down. So all the alts have been getting crunched by Bitcoin. And I am still like, although ultimately, if you went like this, bought a bunch of altcoins and waited a year, you would win. But someone like myself, professional trader, been doing this for a long time. When it comes to doing like a public portfolio that's 6 figures, will eventually be 7 figures publicly, I'm trying to time it. I'm trying to time that shit, man. I'm not playing around with that. So basically, stick around, Ryan. Stick around for the channel. And I would not hold myself just to 5 coins with 10K. I mean, I get that if you wanted the 2K. 5 coins, I get that, but honestly, if you know this channel, like, what I'd pick. I think there will be a couple switches that you guys don't see coming, but if you go back and watch my original portfolio I built on this channel, not the smaller one, but the bigger one, and then the portfolio I built with Jada on this channel, both those portfolios are probably down like 15% now. Considering Jada and I actually really timed the portfolios we built together pretty bad, because we started in February and we looked really smart until March. And then at UFC in Miami, that was the local top. And I even did a tweet saying, yeah, guys, this is probably the local top. And I just bought a bunch of stuff at Burberry and I was like, don't take your profits, enjoy them. This probably is the local top. I do have it. I'll find the tweet if you really want me to prove it. And that was the local top. And then since then, the market has fallen and it's even. But we have DCA'd so much that we have bought a lot lower. So it has kind of evened out some of the losses. But this year's been hard as a hodl trader. This year as a leverage trader, this year's been amazing. Amazing year. But as someone who just buys and holds and buys and holds and buys and holds, this hasn't been a good year. It's been a really tough year. So, but yeah, so we certainly are going to want to make sure, if we're deploying a lot of money publicly, we're going to want to time it. Ben mentioned, we got a $5 super chat from Numero Ruben. Ben mentioned Neon EVM 24.8 million cap. What do you think of it? Grayscale invested. I didn't hear him say that. I don't know what it is. I have to look into it. That's just being honest. Yeah, I know Ellie talking about Eminem. I'm bummed, man. I am bummed about that. To be fair, JC, Eminem actually hates P. Diddy, has always hated P. Diddy. So does 50 Cent. He's been on the right side of history when it comes to the Diddy stuff. That's for sure. Not involved at all. He hates Diddy. And the whole thing with MGK, I mean, because Diddy was MGK's, record label owner. So there was that. But really, to be honest, I think like Eminem backing Kamala Harris is like shitting your pants and changing your shirt. That's what it feels like to me. Like it's because like Eminem has to know his own demographic, and his own demographic are Trump voters. Like for real. Like know the people that is people what you listen to. And I know like he's made bars like, I haven't, I abandoned my race and stuff like that. And I get that. And he's obviously pandering to what he thinks he's supposed to do. But the truth is, when it comes to politics, I wish Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish and, all the actors and Eminem would just shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Like, do art. We like you for your art. Leave it there. That's my take. I mean, I can disagree with people politically and still like them as humans. I have family members, so it's like it's not that big of a deal for me. The super chats are distracting this show, guys. All right, this is my last super chat I'm acknowledging. Is TNet Crypto trying to come up with price predictions for all my coins, especially the new coins this cycle? Your thoughts? I removed Ethereum stable wrap coins for calculations typing. What? Wait. I mean, I'll get back to this. So, I do want to run through the stories I had picked out for you guys. I have a lot of good stories picked out for you guys. Before I do that, let's take a quick look at the gainers and the losers here. Blim, 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 blim. All right. Top 100, Mu, ICP, Jupe, Celestia, all up a very small amount. And then the losers, ApeCoin, Aptos, Link, Uniswap, Jasmy, Popcat. Guys, this ApeCoin short absolutely nailed it in the Telegram group. Aptos, we've had levels for that in the Telegram group. I did a fresh Aptos chart last week. I'm sure that has set off some alarms. I am glad to buy Jasmy down here. And guys, right, look at all the coins in the red. Now you see why I waited on doing 100K public portfolio. Now do you see what I see? All right. But you know, probably not a bad time to start buying things up. We got a $50 super chat. Jesus, T-Net. I said, oh, I'm done with super chats after T-Net's first $10. And then he's like, oh, really? Is that so? $50. All right, fine. All right. So he said, trying to come up with price predictions for all my coins, especially the new coins this cycle. Your thoughts? I removed Ethereum, stable coins, wrap coins from calculations. Then at Bitcoin's peak of last cycle, I calculated the dominance of the next 100 altcoins in groups of 10 compared to Bitcoin. Then comparing that to $125,000 Bitcoin price this cycle gives me a market cap estimate based on ranking. I don't hate that. I think that's a smart way to do it. And I think that everybody, you really should, by doing it by market cap isn't a bad idea. I mean, it's basically just doing it with price and then then calculating the market cap from there, which is, it's basically the same thing. It's not the same thing, but you get my point. And, but so you're basically saying, okay, if Bitcoin went to 125K, that would mean, you know, so are you running the same formula for every coin? And that's kind of the problem, T-Net. And this is actually why that back when I did my hit network price predictions, I used dominance more than I used Gonfans. And dominance, I'm basically saying, all right, so if Bitcoin goes here, and if this project gets the same dominance that it got last cycle, then it could be here in the future. And that was, I didn't always let that be my prediction, but I did use that for like a guideline. I did kind of use that to steer the ship a little bit. I don't want you to get to think that's the law, though. That's like not like the most rock hard evidence. Like you need to kind of compare the dominance theory with Gon theory, with like your own personal. I mean, we're going to be wrong about some altcoins, and I'm not saying wrong like they're not going to go up. I'm saying wrong like they're going to go way further than we think. And you have to account for that element too. So I would say across the board, what I have done, I have basically mapped out for my picks what looks like a 4x, what looks like a 5x, what looks like a 7, and what looks like a 10. And what would it have to get to in price for it to gradually move up? Because we're very rarely going to see like 100% candles. You know what I mean? If you kind of slowly, even if you look at like the anatomy of the last bull run, like here, where's that Solana chart that we had earlier? So daily, God, I had such a show planned that didn't happen today. But even look at Solana, man. Like, and this is really the exception, not the rule, but it's still good for reference. So, you know, it kind of had this March pickup, right? And what are we talking here? You know, 400% in 82 days. And then it bottomed out in July. And then boom, 1,000% in 111 days. And guys, and I do want you to remember that time frame, 111 days. Like, so it was sell in May, walk away. And let's look at how long these things took to happen. So from the beginning of the year, January was kind of dead. By February, it pumped pretty good. But then by May, it was 135 days. All right. And then we spent the next 70 days going down, and then we pumped in 100 days. So basically, like, when this shit happens, it's going to happen in the span of 3 or 4 months from like when we really should have bought and when we really should sell. It's going to happen inside of a 3 to 4 month window, probably. All right. so I basically what I am doing is I have my own price predictions taken into account for each coin I personally hold. And I do lean on that a little bit, but there's a big difference between my price prediction and my personal target, because I don't care if a coin 20x's. If my goal is a 5x, my goal is a 5x. And if I accomplish my goal, green checkbox next to that check, I will sell I will sell 75 to 80% of that bag at 5x profits and leave the rest in. Leave that the other 20, 25%, 30% in based off of how much I want to leave my neck left out. And then if it continues to run from there, okay, it's all the house money at this point. But if it comes down, I'm selling at a 4x. That's how I'm playing most coins. So, I think that I don't want you to get too distracted. I understand doing the dominance and at least using that as a measuring stick. That's good, but that's just a measuring stick. That's not thesis. That's not the rule, the law. I want you to do the dominance, and then I want you to consider the Gonfan, and I want you to consider if the dominance was to work out, where would that lie in the Gonfan, and is that realistic? And then try to find a middle ground in there. Or just straight up calculate what would a 5x look like for every coin. Start from there. But so are you basically asking me how to? Are you asking me for like an exit strategy video, or are you just how you calculated, or are you just telling me how you calculated altcoins based off dominance and the fact if Bitcoin got to 125K with the dominance calculation? Because that's very similar to what I used to do. I'm just trying to get to. Okay, let me know. What do you think about Zeta Chain? Man, I like Zeta Chain. Cassie told me about Zeta Chain. The Super Bowl last year, we talked about it for an hour, and I didn't listen to her, and it pumped like 300% a month. So I should continue to look into it. I know it had some pretty big news like last week, but I haven't bought any. AJ, can you kind of gauge the total run early by what happens at the end of this calendar year? Thinking that's the tail of the tape. I mean, not really, man, because I'm not giving any stock to 2024 once we get into 2025. Other than the coins that have not hit 2024 highs. If you're holding a coin in 2025 and it has not reached the 2024 high, that's like target number one. You're going to make at least this much. That's kind of how I'm looking at 2024. But 2024, everyone thought it was the early cycle, the ETFs, the pending Fed pivot. 2024 is kind of a wash for me, to be honest. Like, yeah, it was a great fucking year. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not giving it any stock to the bull run itself, the real bull run that hasn't happened yet. And remember, the bull run, when it really goes from bup, is going to happen inside of a 3 or 4 month window. That's my thesis. All right. All right. I am going to run through the highlights here of the show that I was going to do for you guys. But I like answering questions. I like interacting with you guys. It's all good. Guys, at 12:30 today, I am doing a Twitter space with Sunny Liu, the founder of vChain. Today at 12:30 with the founder himself, Sunny. Be there. Somebody put this tweet in the chat. I'm not going to do it. Someone else, please do that. It's going to be a really, really great space. Trust me. Here we are. Oh, let's be negative today. Let's spend our time being negative. Trust me. These YouTubers, DAs don't know anything. Oh, really? Really? Well, at least we're millionaires. That's fine with me. I'll take it. I'll take a win every day of the week. All right. And you know how we know the bull run's coming? When we turn the 10 into 10 million, when we turn the mil into 10 mil or 20 mil, that tether passes $120 billion market cap. This is very good news. This is very, very good news. It's just going to keep going. And I know that there's countries in Europe, there's, some EU stuff's kind of giving Tether some shit. I don't think Tether cares because they're backed by treasury bonds. Right here, USDT is backed by treasury bonds. For that reason, it has more backing than actual US dollars. Let's say that one more time. USDT is backed by treasury bonds. For that reason, it has more backing than actual US dollars. That's good. That's good. Going to keep the ball rolling here. Got to give some props to Avalanche. I'm going to run through these news stories because I got distracted. You guys distract me. Thank you. Avalanche, man. Dude, I'm pretty pumped on AVAX, to be completely honest with you. Inside the top 15, even if you eliminate stablecoins, inside the top 15, I think AVAX is going to be the winner in the bull run. Between the coins in the top 15. I'm just telling you. That's just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. If not, it's going to be at least top 3 out of those 15. I would say number 1. 7 million users playing off the grid. Ninja was live streaming that game. Tim the Tatman live streaming that game. Not to mention, Avalanche launches a fee-free Visa card. You heard that, right? AVAX launches a fee-free Visa card. And yes, this is certainly a big step towards crypto adoption. All right. Avalanche's Visa card aims to make digital assets more accessible, offering users seamless transactions. With Visa's backing, the card could reshape the industry, challenging traditional financial models. Guys, zero fees could be a game changer for crypto adoption. I'm telling you guys, a fee-free card. Fee-free. It is a tongue twister. I will admit it. But guys, and JC saying, I wish I had more Avalanche. Well, dude, I will tell you, it's not a bad time to buy it. It's not a bad time to buy it because basically since, the end of September, we've basically have just gone sideways. It's been a large range, but we have basically just gone sideways. Certainly August, early September was the time to buy. But since then, we have gone sideways. We have gone okay? But look, Avalanche is actually at a pretty crazy level right now. It's at 26.44. Crazy buy level. We know that this is the breakout level for Avalanche at $30.75 with the ascending triangle measured move. All right. From the breakout price is a 47% move to the upside. From the current price is 72% to the upside. The point of control is way above the current price to the tune of 34%, 34.8. Not bad. I mean, and also like I am a little worried about this this ascending triangle, to be completely honest with you guys. There are a couple things that have broken down in the past couple days, but as of right now, it is still respecting that level. It is still respecting that triangle. And guys, even in these situations, I tend to trust the levels and I don't trust the patterns a lot of the times. If I was to short Avalanche, I would probably go from even over, a little bit. I would probably short it from this level instead of this level. And am I missing this much of the trade? Sure, but that's the safer short. Because sometimes it'll, that alarm will go off on patterns are a lot more wonky than levels. This is kind of more for awareness. And sometimes it'll go, you know what I mean? So, be very careful with the pattern trading. I trade patterns sometimes. I know a lot of people do, but I kind of trust levels more. So I combine, okay, we lost the pattern and we lost the level and there's conflict. You know what I mean? Kind of making that argument. And, the kind of the money curvature isn't the best. It is a little bearish right now. I have been dumping a little bit. We even lost this previous low, which was given to you on this show. How far are we down from that? About 1.5%, not the end of the world, but keep a close eye on this. But overall, guys, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even with my public 100K portfolio publicly, AVAX is going to be in that bag. I want to build that portfolio. I want to make that video, but at the same time, I'm being a little patient right now. I'm being patient right now. Things are a little scary. Even Jesse Walter, sigh, why are we dumping right now? Hashtag crypto life. Hey, that's crypto, my friend. That's crypto. Similar situation to AVAX. As you know, optimism, same ascending triangle setup. Don't miss it. FET with the fake break up to the break down on the 12 hour. All right. And now let's investigate this one. I would say we always go for the level instead of the pattern for the safer move. Well, this kind of slight uptrend here would make sense, or even drawing this line straight across would make sense at $1.27. That would kind of be maybe my short level for FET, if it comes to that. There very well could be another shakeout on the horizon before the big move. PIF, kind of a pennant pattern, had flirted with the trend line here, ultimately broke down. The EMAs are very close to each other. We got a bull cross on the 12 hour, but now the price is actually below both the EMAs this second on a 12 hour after coming off a little tiny baby bearish divergence. Has a little bit more room to fall to still be in the uptrend, but still certainly one that's been on my radar, certainly one you should pay attention to. Jasmine, also in a pennant pattern. And look, it is on the level. It's on the line. It's actually a little teeny bit below it right now. But if I wanted to short Jasmine, which I won't because it doesn't have leverage volume, but if I did, I would go from the level. It's a safer trade. SWI. I'm not going to go into the details with this. I gave a lot of trade setup to the Telegram group for SWI yesterday, but SWI, man, we nailed this. We nailed this big time from the group. 10.94% in 2 days on that short. We nailed that in the group. Not to mention we went from this level here, right around there. And, still 8.3%. You get my point. And, I don't hate where SWI is kind of hanging out the chill here because it does have support resistance from back here. All right. I would say if SWI loses that level at 186, you could target a short to 172. And I would say the top of the C range there would be 204 with a target at 215. And then, all right, we talked about HBAR. Let's run through the rest of these stories. Shiba Inu braces for volatility as exchange transfers surge. And that is another chart we talked about at length in the Telegram group. The Shibarium has been seeing some surges. They're layer 2 with over 28,000 transactions from October 18th and more than 324 by October 19th, which is crazy. A big pickup there. So I like SHIB, guys. I think SHIB's a good safe pick for large portfolio holders. If you're trying to 20x, I don't know if it's the best pick, but if you want to right down the middle pick, it would be hard to sleep on SHIB. For people with very deep pockets, or even if you want, to hedge with some top 15 coins, I don't hate SHIB. And they do a lot of burning, you know what I mean? 50% of the total supply is already burned. They're making some moves, but on the charts that I gave to Telegram group, it is looking a little dire for SHIB. Tesla, there was a lot of rumors about them selling their Bitcoin. They kept it all. That's where the story is right now. That was kind of an interesting one last week. Uniswap is planning its own layer 2 blockchain called UniChain. Not going to go into the details, but I think you should know. Pretty interesting. I've always liked Uniswap. Mark Cuban, for some reason, also disagrees with Kamala about a lot of things, but is still backing her and basically saying the poly market projections that you keep seeing on Twitter, I kind of agree with him on this, aren't exactly, don't put your... I'm not completely giving those too much stock because generally, if you're using Polymarket in America, you're using a VPN, and not everyone knows how to use a VPN. So basically, you have everyone, like a high barrier. People are jumping in America or international people making these bets. Although I do give it stock that it is real money and it is the opinion of people, but it's not the opinion of everyone. And I would say that all the people that get the picket fences and walk around and who are poor and say, tax the rich, I wonder how many of them actually know how to use a VPN. I think the minnows are going to outnumber the sharks here. And I think the election is going to be a lot closer than people would like it to be. And that's where I stand with that. I'm still obviously voting for Trump because I want to see crypto continue. I want to see crypto regulation make an impact in America, be waving the crypto flag and not push innovation offshores, and for this movement to happen here. Because I really don't want to move to Dubai, but by God, if Gary Gensler wins more lawsuits, I probably will. All right. Toncoin. Active addresses fall to 6-month lows as Telegram airdrop hype fades. That's kind of a bummer. I think that the Toncoin projects are always going to have value baked in because there's so many users on Telegram. Like I think that number is going to toggle. And to be fair, Toncoin is currently ahead of Cardano to the tune of $400 billion. No, excuse me, $400 million. Why did I say billion? Yeah, 400 million. More than 400 million. Toncoin's ahead of Cardano. Toncoin has made some really serious progress, but it is, I'm kind of back and forth on how I feel about this. Obviously, guys, if they're doing airdrop, no more airdrops. Everyone's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go somewhere else for free money. Like, airdrops are good for the flash in the pan, but to airdrop a community and keep that community without feeding them, it's hard. It's hard to do, and basically you're only, if that's the case, you're not attracting the right kind of people. You're only attracting people who want a handout, not people who want to stick around for value. And unfortunately, that's a reality. A lot more people would rather win the lottery than study hard, work their asses off, and make $1 million the hard way. We're all built different. What can I say? And also, this kind of reflects in hamster combat. I did give this setup to the Telegram group just to keep an eye on. It is down about 6.5% in the past couple hours here, and I kind of anticipate hamster combat waking up similar to how Notcoin did, but it might not. I still think there's hope left for hamster combat because how big Notcoin pumped. Notcoin was so big. I made so much money on Notcoin. Like a what? So I would like to see Ton continue to wake up. If not self-custody, then why crypto? That's a good point. Big shout out to Pascal Gauthier, Ledger CEO. I do have an interview coming your way with Ian from Ledger. I forget his exact position there. Like the CXO. I think it's like he's a communications person there. He's been there from the very beginning. Ledger is a sponsor of this channel now. And, if you're actively trading, of course, you want to use exchanges for sure, 100%. But if you're just buying and holding, you should certainly consider self-custody wallets. And guys, with Ledger, you do not have to opt in to the recover if you don't want to. Basically, they're giving you a safety net. They're giving you an option to do a safety net. And if you do the safety net, your password will be in a cloud somewhere. Will that get hacked? Will anything happen to that? I would say probably not, but you never really know. All right. But you don't have to opt into it. If you're someone that doesn't need a safety net, that's going to remember your password, that's going to remember your seed phrase, you don't need to do it. So it's an option. And I think that's very important to say with Ledger because they do a really good job. This device here, the Ledger Flex, this thing's badass, guys. And if you want, here's the box for the Ledger Flex right here. It's really cool. I'll make a video setting it up. And if you want to, self-custody your crypto, click the link down below. Ledger is a sponsor of the channel. Big shout out to Ledger. We talked about Agradex. I'm not going to talk about Gary Gensler. Last couple things here. Millionaire jumps crazy buying meme coins with over $5 million. Well, that sounds like fun. An anonymous millionaire started crazy buying Solana meme coins with over 5 million since October 21st. So in the past 48 hours, 6 different tickers, some gains, some loses. But the big ones he's going after is the GOAT token, allegedly created by artificial intelligence. He has 3.39 million in GOAT. And that is pretty cool. There is a lot going all around about the GOAT token. Smartest trader or insider, anonymous prints 3 million in profits twice. Might have saw it coming. with that one. Hard to tell. I don't have time to pull the goat chart up, but mark my words, guys, it is doing very well. It is doing very well. And to be fair, what the hell is this? Goat and Turbo are dominating 60% of the AI meme coin trading volume. Shout out to Turbo. You guys told me about Turbo on this channel, and I made money because the chat told me to buy a meme coin. So, shout out to Turbo, man. I don't know. I haven't traded it in a while, but I certainly think, hey, you never know. It has a lot of volume. SWE to face another pullback following dip. Analysts forecast a 30% correction. And I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of this other than it has lost some pretty serious levels. And guys, this isn't something we don't know. This is basically a talking point for, this setup here. We had this, ascending, broadening, these actually, let me change the color of these just so you guys can see it. We had this ascending, broadening channel here, and SWE has broken down from that. It has broken down. And I know we kind of went over this chart already, but I would say, guys, if SWE loses this next level here, I actually think this might have got moved. This level had to have gotten moved. Or was it from the previous price? Okay. That one's from previous price action, because I would say this level is more relevant locally. $1.75.7. So almost $1.76. I would say if SWE loses that level, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Some people are even kind of making, head and shoulders argument there, which I do see. That is a fairly, this shoulder isn't as pronounced as this one, but I do see what they're saying. And in the event of that happening, I mean, that would probably take it down to probably down to here. Hold on, let me just go ahead and draw this right. Yeah, pretty damn close to my original guess. Why is it not letting me measure? From the current price, if that happened, that would be a 28% loss. So that's what they're saying. The forecasts are saying 30% dip from here. That's what they're saying. Yeah, but certainly SWE, the alarm you need to worry about right now for a short, 185, and you could use that to target a trade to 176. What's the exact decimal there? 186.1, excuse me. 1.861 is your short alarm for SWE. Don't tell you I never gave you anything. And then the last story of the day. Peter Todd, developer named as Satoshi Nakamoto in the HBO doc, goes into hiding. First of all, that documentary was pretty badass. I really enjoyed watching it. I'm not going to lie. And now, and I don't think he's Satoshi, to be honest. I really don't. But he's went into hiding. He got a influx of financial requests and potential threats, and he possesses the fortune. That wasn't smart for them to do that. I think they could have left it more open-ended, man. I mean, that you're kind of ruining someone's life by saying they're Satoshi, even though he willingly participated in it. And he did say, I'm not Satoshi in it. But and I think Satoshi was a group of people. I think they were all Satoshi. That's my answer. Like the Midnight on the Orient Express. You ever see that mystery movie on the damn train? Basically, we're all trying to figure out which one of you guys killed the guy. It was everybody. There was a big coordinated plan. And when really cool things happen, it's generally not just one person. It's a collaboration. All right. And I think Satoshi, the idea of Satoshi is multiple people. Multiple people. All right. TNet, $2 super chat. Thanks for the $2. Do you have an email that you respond to? Well. I do have a Telegram group that has been kicking some serious ass. I actually got someone, I think it was Mike. Mike made a new graphic, and I haven't got the official new graphic from him yet. And he will get his prize when he sends me that official new graphic. I know he had to make some of the pictures bigger and make the font bigger or whatever. There was a couple little tweaks I asked him to make, but I do have a new graphic coming for the group, and we have been doing very well trading in the group. I couldn't be more bullish on the group. And that email is ajalphagroup@gmail.com. Okay. And sometimes I am the one that checks these. Sometimes it's my team. Sometimes it's Jada. Sometimes it's me. Can't promise you. But if you say, can you please tell AJ, this is me from the $50 super chat, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure it will find its way to me eventually. All right. So I hope that answers your question. And guys, of course, if you want to join the Telegram group, why not? What do you have to lose? AJAlphaGroup@gmail.com. Take this bull run by the horns. Do not miss out on this opportunity. All right. There is a lot of good information here. We do a members only on YouTube once a week. I'm going to do that one tomorrow, not Friday. Normally it's on Friday. I'm going to Maryland. It's going to be Thursday for the next 2 weeks because I'm going to Maryland this weekend and next weekend. But it's really good stream, and we go over what we talk about in the group. It's not about news. It's not about anything else. It's about, this is what we talked about in the group. Here are the lessons you can learn from it. Here are positions, ideas moving forward. It's a very simple group, and I know the people that attend those groups get a lot out of them. And there's an open Q&A where you can ask me literally anything about the Telegram group, trading, positions, anything right in the group itself. So there is a lot of good stuff there. Everybody, make sure you become a member of the channel. You can only watch the streams if you're a member of the channel. And of course, sign up for the Telegram group, AJAlphaGroup@gmail.com. So guys, that was a pretty fun show. I did get through all the stories. But damn, we got distracted there for a minute. But guys, please, if you're watching this right now, make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button. Got over 200 people on YouTube, 422 people on Twitter. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And lastly, the last thing I'm going to say, I have two more things to say. One thing, thank you for getting me to 1 million views. I want to get to 1 million views per video, but hey, I got to 1 million views in basically 1 year of making crypto content on YouTube. And I know, crypto content, it's a small pie. There's not a lot of people doing it. The people that are doing it have been doing it for a while, have a big head start on people like me. But guess what? People like me we still have our place. I will continue to grow. I already have made a lot of money. So for me, it's less about making money now and more about how I can spread the word of crypto beyond crypto. Talking to crypto people about crypto is good, but I want to talk to not crypto people about crypto. I want to get this out to a national audience. I have big plans. I have fun ways to spend my money. And I am, you're going to see, I don't want to say the idea because then someone might steal it, but you'll see. I got some plans, and with this channel will continue to grow. And for everyone who's been here from day one, or even who has come on and has been here for a couple months now, I appreciate each and every one of you. It would be impossible without you guys. And we ain't going anywhere. Before I got into crypto to get out of monotony, to get out of the 9 to 5, to unlock the door to financial freedom. We did it. We made it. We did that. Check the box off. Now it's about sustainability. It's about, doing this for a long time, making this a full-time thing, and really helping as many people as I can. That's always what I've wanted to do. And I'm gonna keep pushing. So much love to all you guys. And also, guys, I got this vChain Twitter space with the founder of vChain, Sunny Lu, in about 38 minutes. Make sure you head over onto Twitter, set a reminder, be at that space. I would really appreciate it if the Grogger fam showed out. I'd really appreciate that. And obviously, big shout out to Sunny, big shout out to vChain. That's all I got, everybody. Have a safe rest of your day. Get rich or get wrecked. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.